Okay, welcome back to another tutorial for Vaicom. What we're going to look at today is using the AI flight commands. So controlling your wingman. So we're here at Saipan, we're ready to taxi. I've got an AI wingman. We're on a multiplayer server, but it's got a couple of slots, client slots that have AI wingman, and this is one of them. And the Vaicom server also has just a couple of areas where we can practice using different commands. So today we're looking at air to ground and utilizing the flight commands. So on COM1 channel 1 I have the flight frequency, which is 250.1, and on COM2 we'll predominantly use 3, which is the Unicom 255.5, and also Sky Eye. But to taxi, we'll taxi with Saipan ground here, or the air traffic control. So I'll give them a call on COM2 and use the select function to select them, and it will automatically tune the ATC frequency here. So I'm triggering COM2, Saipan select, and 256.9 is the right frequency, and then we will taxi. Saipan request taxi to runway.
2, clear to 2, rolling.
Okay, we're clear to taxi runway 7. Wingman's already made a dash for it, so he's obviously going to lead this takeoff. And we'll taxi down to the active and get airborne. Now, there's no point watching us taxi down to the runway, so we'll skip to that part now. Ready for departure.
2, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.2, rolling.
Okay, airborne out of Saipan. There's 2. He's going to slot in now and join on us. And we'll take it up to 350 knots. Keep the climb going and head on down towards Tinian, where the target area is. Being air to ground mission, we are looking for some targets at Northfield at Tinian. We've got a JTAC down there. We're not going to be talking him today because it seems to be broken on multiplayer service at the moment. So we are going to visually find them and use the flight commands to get the AI established and engaging those targets and supporting us. So he should slot in. We'll just head down south here and back across towards Tinian Airfield, and then we'll make our way up to Northfield. As we're going, if you don't know what the commands are for the flight commands, or AWACS commands, or tanker commands, you can find them on the Kneeboard. So if I bring that up, Kneeboard, you can see we've got the log there at the moment. So if I go flight page, you can see in the watermark there you've got a whole bunch of commands. Now, unfortunately, that's not all of them because we've added more and more commands to that section. But it gives you an idea of what you've got there. A lot of the ones like armor, air defense, that's to give it the wingman a specific target to engage. You've got attack my target, engage my target, attack my enemy, reference my speed, my steer point. Complete and rejoin's quite a good one. Basically, it instructs the AI wingman to go and engage a pre-designated target that you have planned in the mission, and then rejoin at the completion of their run. So we'll level off here at 6,500 feet and start a turn back over towards Tinian. Now let's get rid of that kneeboard. There's my wingman. He's sitting out there or trying to sit into an echelon right. Let's try a couple of commands. Let's bring him to echelon left. So important that we use COM1 here, which is 250.1, which is our flight frequency. If I try to do it on another frequency, it won't work. It has to be on your flight frequency. And let's get him to go echelon left. To go echelon left.
Roger.
So there he is. He's making a swap over to the echelon left position. And we should see him come in. There he is. He's way sucked back there, but he'll make his way up here and slot back into echelon left. Obviously we can go spread, go wedge, finger 4 is quite an interesting one, even with the 2-ship. So if I do that, to go finger 4.
Copy.
Okay, so he'll swap out to our right here and slot into quite a close wedge on my right, and then if we had 3 and 4, they'd be out to our left in the same formation. So they're the basis of just formation commands using your Vaicom. But what we're really up here to do today is look at engaging ground targets. So we'll start a turn back over the top of Tinian now and start our hunt for ground targets up at North Field. So we're right in the SAM envelope here for manpads, which is not a great altitude to be at, but for the point of the exercise we will stay down here. And just out of small arms fire, the targets I'm expecting are vehicles, infantry, and potentially some high-speed vessels around the north of the island. And I'm not expecting any manpad or SAM activity. So let's get him to fence in. That's the first thing we need to do. To fence in. Okay, while he's fencing in, we'll fence in our ground as well. Got master arm on, get the ground selected, lights are off. And we're coming over the top of Tinian now, and then we're going to make our way up to North Field. So there's our wingman there, slotted in our finger 4. We might get him to go echelon right now, and while we set up our orbit so he's not sitting right next to me, to go echelon right.
Roger.
So he'll kick out a little bit into the echelon position there, and it looks like he's going to go left. No, he's going right. Alright, let's start a bit of an orbit around North Field and look for targets. And we'll fuse these up to nose. We'll make them retarded. And now, quite often if you go into the situation display and we have a look at the data link, you'll see if he spots anything and gives us a data link target. Now I can see some vehicles on the eastern end of that northern runway, and it looks like there's more vehicles parked in that centre clearing about midfield on the northern side. So I'm going to get him to anchor here while I prosecute a show force and see if they're hostile, and then we can take it from there. So let's try that to anchor here. Okay, so he's going to anchor. We're going to make a run across that area at low level and see if we get any activity.
Altitude. Altitude.
Vehicles. Definitely some light armor there. Alright, oh, some boats as well. Let's deal with the armor to start with, so let's set up for an attack. Now all the while the AI is just orbiting above us at 6,000 feet, anchored there, waiting for our next command. So we know we've got a pretty good visual on them at the north end of that runway, so let's start our attack now. We'll make it a 2010 pop-up attack, and so we can get a little bit of nose down. And now they know we're here, I can't imagine that they won't fire at us this time, so we'll make it nice and quick. We'll pop flares. Up we go. Got the north field in sight, rolling in. Flares are coming out. Got a good eyeball on those vehicles. Weapons off. Good hits. And let's bring 2 into the game now. So I'm going to tell him to engage vehicles, as we know there's ships there. I don't want him to engage those just yet. So 2 engage vehicles. Okay, so he's cleared in. Right, so we're off. He's out to my right here. I'm going to climb back up again and let him have a go. You can see on the SD he's picked a target. We'll get out of his way. He'll give us a running in call soon. And let's come back up to the north. So he's positioning for a run at the moment, and generally the AI will use their bombs first and then guns. And it looks like this.
Running in.
Okay, he started his run now. We'll come over and support him. Okay, you can see he engaged that middle bit of concrete in the middle there. And we might roll in there as well and have a go at that. So I'm going to tell him to anchor again. To anchor here.
2, roger.
Secondary, so we're rolling
2,
in.
rejoin.
Altitude.
Flares out.
Altitude.
Good secondaries from his hits. Weapons off. And I've got visual on 2. Let's join on him. And let's bring him up with us now while we hunt those boats we saw to rejoin.
2, rejoin.
And he'll slot back in. So you can see we're just using the commands to work with the AI to achieve what we want, which in this case is hitting ground targets up at Northfield. And we specified what targets we wanted. So he went for the vehicles. They looked like there was some tents and stuff just where I dropped my last weapons. And now we're out of air. He's got a couple more bombs, so I might put him back on vehicles again to engage ground vehicles. To engage vehicles.
2, negative.
Okay, so he's got no vehicles in sight. So let's swing him back around. See if we can pick up those boats. So when you can't see them like this, sometimes you can use your AI to see if he can see them to engage ships.
2, copy.
Okay, I've got a tally on them.
Engaging target.
Alright. I've got them there. They are. They're moving towards the point at the moment. Just where the massive tree is.
Running in.
He's running in. He's off me. I'm going to come around behind him and do the same.
Bombs away.
Okay, so he's dropped Mark 82s on him. There he is making his pass. Oh. Okay, so that gives me a good mark where that splash is, and then I'm going to come in on a guns run and look. Let's put him to anchor again, to anchor here.
2, roger.
Now I can't see any vessels there. I wouldn't be surprised if he just took them both out. I think he got both on. Ah, there we go. Flares. There it is there. Alright. They're moving pretty quickly. Say he got one of them. It's just on that point now, so I'll keep bringing it around. There it is. It's already around the point. I've got a tally on it. Keep rolling in now. And let's see if we can get some guns on that boat and sink it.
Altitude. Altitude.
Come off. Still going. Alright, let's call him in now to engage ships.
2, affirm.
Okay, here he is
2,
here.
engaging target.
That's not him. That looks like a Herc. Picked the wrong place to be, my friend. Okay, 5.8. Once he makes this pass, we'll RTB. There he is, he's just come out of burner now, and he's lining himself up for his run. I'm going to turn hard across the target, which I've got a tally on. It's making its way down the coast there now. He's running in.
2, running in.
Alright, Vic's getting fired on, and he's off cold.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, I'm going to make a pass now. It's making its way
Altitude.
back north again now.
Altitude.
I'm blind on the target, which is annoying. There it is. Okay, that rejoin call means we smoked it because he no longer has a target. And we'll come back up. He's rejoining on us. We'll make a little left turn, make it easy for him to rejoin, and then we'll RTB. And let's get him to fence out now. To fence out.
2, copy.
See that truck parked there, that was his first target. There's the vehicle, so it was my first target. And Saipan off to our left, and we'll call in, make our way in. Saipan inbound for landing.
2, fly heading 262.46, QFE 29.63, runway 07, to pattern altitude.
We should be cleared for visual zone.
2, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Now when you're flying around air to ground like this and you lose sight of your wingman and he's not on data link, you don't know if he's there, sometimes it's worth doing a comms check with him, which will let you know whether he's been downed and you didn't see it. So you can just use to radio check.
2, roger.
And if he doesn't reply, there's a good chance he was downed. And we're not taking any fire from down there, so I'd say we killed all of those targets then. And we'll join by the overhead. Let's see, we've got a taxiing helicopter or something down there.
2, go around, runway occupied. 2, check landing gear. Wind 090 at 3 meters per second. Runway 07. 2, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Okay, so let's call the wingman and have him RTB. So he'll start his own manoeuvring for landing now. 2, return to base.
2, roger. 2, RTB.
Gears coming out. Right, it's master arm, which I didn't fence out. There we go. So as you can see, it just makes it a little easier to work with your wingman. You get a little bit more control.
Go around, runway occupied. 2, go around, runway occupied.
That helo is going to taxi straight out in front of me.
2, go around, runway occupied.
Maybe not.
2, go around, runway occupied.
We'll make it.
2, go around, runway occupied. 2, check landing gear. Wind 090 at 3 meters per second. Runway 07. 2, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Now that's something that needs a big improvement in DCS is the AI ATC. Anyway, let's air to ground using AI Wingman. We divvied up between vehicles, ships. We could have done infantry. We could have used the targeting pod and used that to find targets, but in this case it was utilising pop-up attacks on some lightly armoured vehicles, infantry with no SAM threat. Anyway, catch you in the next one.